Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry Bodenheimer and today we're taking a look at Win32.Trojan.Stealer. Now you can see we've got the nice little Watch Dogs wallpaper because one, Watch Dogs 1 is my favorite video game of all time, and two, it comes under the name as ZeroTrace.exe, which is just something that sounds like an epic hacker malware on Watch Dogs, so I thought it was fitting. If we take a look at this in virus total, we can see that it has 53 out of 73 detections. If we go over to details, we can see it was created in the future by about 60 and a half years. Wonderful. First submission, however, was about a day and a half ago. So the fact that it has this many detections already is a pretty big L for the malware writer. We'll go ahead and take a look for the few big names first. We have Avast, AVG, Avira, BCAF Pro, Bitdefender, and Kaspersky. So all of the big names are detecting it. If we come down and see who is not detecting it, we'll look for any known names. So ClaimAV has no detection for it, but that's not a shock to me. And oh my god, Webroot has a detection for it. And surprisingly, it is the first time on this channel that Webroot has a detection that's not generic. It's the wrong detection, but it detects it nonetheless. So I'm pretty happy about that. The only known name that doesn't detect it is ClaimAV. You've also got your, your third-party back-end AVs like QuickHeal and a bunch of other ones like that, but we don't really care all that much about those. If we go to details, your MD5, your SHA-1, and your SHA-256 for the video are right here. If you're new to the channel, it will be in the comments as well, so you don't have to type it in manually. We've already taken a look at the history. The names that it's come under is ZeroTrace.exe, which is what we have, and build.exe. And you've also got this random string.exe, which probably just came off of a malware repository. If we go over to relations, we can see there's two contacted URLs. It's got ipinfo.io, and then we've got a JSON from probably the same website, but just a different subdomain name, get.gojs.io. Or maybe they're both different IP grabbers, or IP lookups, when one of them's not working. So far, both of these are still active. We've got 8 contacted domains as well. We've got a .arpa domain, accounts.google.com, which is pretty bad. And then we've got the 2 IP lookups. And then we've got safe browsing http gateway.googleapis.com. Some very interesting domains on this one. We go to contacted IP addresses. It looks like all of the contacted IPs, except for this one, are clean, and that's probably just the what's the thing I'm looking for? Come on, brain. The IP info lookup. What the hell is AE? I've never seen AE. What is that? Oh, the United Arab Emirates. Okay. Interesting enough. And we do have 5 contacted execution parents. We've got blue.cc.exe, Windows Forms App 6.exe, and cheatinjector.exe. 4 bundled files, however, they've either not been scanned or are good. 30 dropped files, however, none of these really show anything, and I'm not going to spend too much time on the dropped files because we're going to pay more attention to that in execution. Again, we don't spend much time on behavior on this channel, but if you want to take a look without following along, now's your chance to do so. 4 sandbox detections. Cape, Zenbox, Yummy Hunter, and C2AE all flag it as some kind of malware. 3 stealers, and then this one just says malware. And if we come down here, we have 1 critical and 4 medium crowdsourced Sigma roles, and 5 medium crowdsourced IDS roles. And interestingly enough, there's now a level indicator for the crowdsourced IDS roles, which is good. Glad to see that. And if we come to community, we can see a bunch of people have been here. We got some new names as well. We've got Nuclean Security, Bastion Hain, who is actually the person that uploaded this from the place I got it from. Nix is here with a new profile picture. Joe Security, Thor 3 times apparently. VX Underground, Nike, Carlos Cabal, Petic, and Jaffa. So we'll go ahead and minimize this, and we're going to take a look at the properties for this malware. So we'll go to details, and as you can see, it has a fake copyright, just copyright 2024, file description zero trace, file version and product version 1.0.0.0. So, I mean, they're trying to hide it, but they're also really not. If they can't be bothered to do a better copyright and product version than that, I kind of take away points in that case rather than give them points. We'll go ahead and close that. And last but not least, we'll show the tools that we're going to use to analyze this malware. So we have System Informer. Good to go. Let me just minimize Firefox real quick. Wireshark, which I'll go ahead and reset the capture for now. Zooey, and Process Monitor, which I will restart the capture for as well. And now that we've taken a look at all of that, without any further ado, let's run some malware. Do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher to make changes to your device? Sure, why not? So we click yes and come down here, and if we give it a second, we should see some new tasks open underneath it. Or we may not. It may have actually opened and closed them so quick that the capture was not able to detect them. In this case, it did not. But one of the things, I will save that for when we look in Process Monitor. Let's go ahead and do that now. So we're going to do two captures. The first capture is going to be process name is, and now I totally didn't forget about the name, Easter egg up there. Where the heck is it? I actually forgot the name. A zero trace, that's what it was. So it should be at the very bottom. And then the operation is create file. It's been a few months since I've done this, so. And we have 2,686 events. And things are going to get very interesting very quick. So starting off, we see zero trace. We've got the prefetch. It does look like it was actually deleted. And it's calling some DLLs that we've seen on the channel a billion times. So not much interesting there. We've got fusion.localgack in the .NET Framework folder, which indicates that this was written in assembly. And immediately underneath, we're in the assembly folder for gack_32. So it was almost certainly written in assembly. And if we keep going, eventually, well, not eventually, but pretty quickly, we're going to start seeing some very interesting things. So if we give it a little more time, we just got a bunch of DLLs that have been seen over and over again. If we come down here, okay, maybe it's a little further down than I thought. What else do we have here? So we can see that it is detecting the IP address, which is not good. Now, in testing, we were able to see it was accessing netsh.exe. And my reaction to that is, ooh! And if you don't know why my reaction is, ooh, that is because netsh is used to map not only your IP address, but the entire network configuration that you have. So, connected devices, IPv4, IPv6, MAC addresses. And things only get worse from here. So if we keep going, immediately under that, we can see it's looking for Discord, Discord PTB, and Discord Canary information. It also immediately looks for Skype for desktop as well, which is interesting because I don't know anybody that uses Skype for desktop, but okay. Now, what we've got here is FileZilla. Now, why is FileZilla bad? Well, FileZilla is an FTP client. And if the malware has successfully opened FTP, then that means they can do whatever they want with the files on your computer remotely, which is bad. But don't worry, it gets worse. So if we keep going, we've got recent servers.xml and then site manager.xml. Unfortunately, these have been deleted, but we'll have other things to look at. And then it looks for Telegram desktop. And if we keep going, it looks for Proton VPN, looks for OpenVPN Connect, which I don't have any VPN on this computer. I only have a VPN on my host. We've got NordVPN as well, and then it opens Command Prompt Direct. But if we keep going, we've got some custom DLLs. So NAPI-NSP.dll is not a standard Windows DLL. And then it goes to disable Windows Defender. But fortunately, you ain't got to do all that because I already disabled it. But if we keep going through here, we've now got some text files. So if you noticed, this IP address is RIP. However, it is also the name of a directory that has been created, or a folder. I'm used to saying directory because I spend so much time in the terminal. But as you can see, it's now dropping text files and updating them pretty regularly. So the first one we've got is process.txt. But once we jump to this, there's 3 text files here. We've got info.txt, process.txt, and windows.txt. I'm going to start going through these, not in order, but I'm going to start with process.txt first. So if we open process.txt, it is mapping every single process that is running on the computer. So we've got service host, Firefox, DWM, Windows Smart Screen, task host, Zooey. I'm not going to go through every single one of these because it would take forever, but we saw Wireshark up here. Where was Wireshark? There it is, Wireshark. It also captures the process ID and the path for the executable. Console host. Now this really isn't all that malicious. It's obviously not great, but it really can't do much with this. It does also detect Skype background host, which is fine. I don't have Skype, but that just goes back to show that it is actually going for your Skype information as well. And then it has zero trace, so it's even mapping the process of its own malware, which L, but okay, we'll keep going and see if anything just jumps out to me. Dump cap is running because obviously we have a Wireshark packet capture going on. Does detect virtual machine tools. So the vast majority of malware likes to say that it has anti-debug and things like that, but I mean, if it's literally detecting virtual machine tools and it's not preventing itself from running, then L. But we've also got process monitor, and we're close to the end. Security health service is for Windows Defender, but Defender is disabled, so, you know. And then we've got idle. So we'll go ahead and close that, and then we'll open Windows. And Windows is, you might have already guessed it, it's just every window that's currently open on the computer at the time of the malware running. So everything we've got open, as well as system settings and text input host and the application frame host. Everything else is just literally what we've got open on the taskbar. Now, why did I save info.txt for last? Simple. So it is detecting your internal IP address, the gateway for your IP, and then it's detecting your machine information. So your username, the name you assign to your computer, your operating system, your CPU, your graphics card, the RAM you've got on the device, which I'll go ahead and correct that for you, the date where it ran, your screen resolution, and then the battery. But this is a PC, so it does correctly flag it as no system battery. And then for virtualization, it's showing Windows Defender is enabled. It's going to show that because no other antivirus is running, and Windows comes by default, although I did disable it in, not regedit, but the other thing. What do you mean by other thing? Oh, I can't remember the name. Leave me alone. I'm tired. But if we keep going through here, it is also accessing your Firefox profile and information. And then we get to see something that's reminiscent of why I've literally had the name of the malware in my brain the entire time, and now I get to forget about it. Luma, the Luma stealer. We've seen this 1,000 times. We've analyzed Luma vanilla, and then half of the stealers that we've got have Luma copy-pasted because it's for sale on the deep web. You can literally buy it for like $70. You just copy-paste the code, and it runs for you, and you get it. And most people probably aren't going to use it, but here you go. Here's your Luma stuff. And it's also accessing Edge, which is custom. And if we just go through here really quick, we can see it doesn't actually look for much. So do with that as you will. I'm not going to look through everything that it looks for because we've done it like 5 times now. But if you want to pause, here's the list. Okay, then we've got some temp files. It is dropping your Edge autofill, bookmarks, passwords, and cookies in a text file that it does not seem to be deleting. So it doesn't give a shit if you know that you've been infected because the damage is already done. So we go to Edge passwords, no passwords found because I don't use Edge. We go to Edge history, and it does pull the history of every website you've been to. Go to Edge cookies, and it's just Copilot, Edge bookmarks, no bookmarks found. Edge autofill.txt, no autofill data found. Now, I could be wrong, but just from what we've seen with the related IPs that have been contacted and the language that's been used in these text files, I'm willing to believe that the malware author is actually American. I kind of doubt that he's like British or Western European because it's fluent English, and I will be looking for things that make me think otherwise, but considering that we haven't seen like OUR or like favorites or the way that they put OU instead of just O in words, I'm willing to believe the malware writer's American, which is very interesting. A lot of interesting things in this video, but I could be proven wrong. So we'll keep going. I've already taken a look at those text files. And then we've got SQLite running. And we've got some very interesting things that it's looking for. Edge cloud configuration, Edge data protection lists, Edge shopping, Edge wallet. I don't know what half these things are because I gave up on Microsoft a long time ago. PKI metadata. Okay. That's the public key interface. Not good. Web notifications deny list. Typo squatting. Login data. Okay. And then we've got your Firefox information. Now notice that there's no passwords file. But if we go to Firefox cookies, we've got a bunch of cookies from Telerik.com, Microsoft.com, SourceForge, and AbuseIPDB. Now, the reason that SourceForge is here is because that's where I got System Informer from. So I'm not surprised by that. And then you've got abuse.ch, which is a malware repository, admaster.cc, which isn't great, but nothing you can do about it, and then virustotal.com. And then if you go to bookmarks, here are your bookmarks. But it doesn't really do anything more than that. You're not seeing any passwords or anything like that, so fair enough. And then it's going through and regularly mapping to see if there's any new processes running. So I don't think it's even looking to see if an antivirus is running. I think it's just looking to see what you have open. But get doxed, idiot. That's really all I have to say about that. But we've got a lot of things from VirusTotal. Okay. And then it looks for a few more browsers after all that. Not sure why it's doing it now, but okay. And then we've got your processes, Windows, and we've got a desktop folder. Okay, is that still here? It is. And there's nothing here. And we go to browsers, and it is correctly detecting that you have Edge and Firefox, because that's what we have. Docs is empty. Downloads is empty. Okay. System, we've seen those. Wallets, we have none. And a desktop screenshot. Okay, that is creepy as hell. Okay, that scared me. Get out of here. That is just downright bizarre. There's just really no other way to say that. That is creepy. God, okay. So, you really do be getting hacked like watchdogs in here. And then just looking for your wallets again. That's just Luma stuff. None of that is custom. And then we're going through and Bitcoin Zcash Armory. So we've got some new Bitcoin wallets that I haven't seen in vanilla Luma variants. And then it's looking for Firefox cookies and bookmarks and Edge passwords again. I don't know why it's running those checks over and over. Considering the malware is just an info stealer, it ran in like 12 seconds and killed its own process. Now, we haven't seen anything about persistence. And in this case, I kind of doubt that it has any. But crazier things have happened. So I'm going to put a pin in that. Why is that in the... Wait a minute. Oh, good. It's also saved your desktop background. Okay, actually, you know what? That's not anything to do with the malware. It's just detecting that. When you set an image from Firefox as your desktop, it saves that desktop background bitmap in the Firefox folder. So that way, if you delete your downloads, your desktop doesn't disappear. I forgot about that. That has nothing to do with the malware. My mistake. But if we keep going, we've got Chrome passwords. Path not found. That's interesting. I guess it's looking for Chrome, and then once it's realizing Chrome's not installed, it's deleting that. But it's also... Do we have Flash Player? We shouldn't have Flash Player. We have Flash Player. Okay. And then it's looking for other things you've got installed, even a crypto folder. Great. OO software, I'm pretty sure that's just ONO shut up, which is a thing that removes a bunch of... What's the word I'm looking for? A bunch of bloatware from Windows. So that's not too bad. We've got some interesting things as well. Your input personalization, game DVR, OneDrive, Pin Workspace, Play Ready, Token Broker, Vault, the Windows sidebar. Nothing is getting past this malware. It's even... Did I just see... Yeah, I loaded the Microsoft Solitaire collection. Okay. Only thing I could think of is like maybe if you logged into Microsoft to play that, it could pick that up and see if your password is logged in there for any reason. But very interesting nonetheless. And then if we keep going, I think all the interesting things have already been seen, unfortunately. There's not anything that's just going to come up and say, "Oh, here's your Firefox history." I think we're done. We may not be done. What is extra.zip? Information. Okay. I would like to see that. So if we could extract that to the desktop. Oh, screw it. Okay. Watch me fall on my face doing this because I'm not familiar with Windows. Headers error. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to do that manually, so I just completely embarrassed myself. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Headers error. Oh, that was the right directory. I don't know what headers error means, but... Geolocation data. Alright, so your IP address, your country, your city, your postal code, and your MAC address. Now, this is wrong. Well, I do live in the US, but everything else is wrong because I have a VPN running through OpenVPN with a kill switch on my host, so it's not going to pick up your real IP through this, at least for me. It also picks up what you have on your clipboard, which I have nothing. But that's still okay. And just the English is spot on chef's kiss. So we're definitely not dealing with anything from like Eastern Europe or the Middle East or Asia or Africa or anything like that. This is either Western European or US malware. Maybe Canadian, but I doubt it. So, I mean, that's just really surprising to me. But we've got that, and then it's looking for wallets and browsers, and then that's it. We spent way too long looking at that. Now we need to look at Wireshark. So we're going to save this as 1.pcap, and we're going to run it through Zooey. And we're done with this, and it's been running for forever. So just to make sure we're not getting close to our memory limit, let's just clear that. That way it doesn't error out, sorry, hiccup, when we try to upload that. Because we've had problems with that before. And next, I'm going to go over here. Let's just visit these really quick. I'm sure we shouldn't have any problem connecting to them. Yeah, trusted IP data provider. And then this is probably just going to pull a file. M24 Europe SRL. So there's my IP, my fake IP. My latitude and longitude, fantastic. It's down to like 3 decimal places though, so they're not going to know my house. It says I'm in the Chicago time zone. And then United States area code 0. Fair enough. And the reason it's showing this organization, I'm fairly certain, is because IVPN is hosted out of Gibraltar, so that's probably where it's getting that from. So my VPN is working. Very good. Very, very nice. And then if we query this poll really quick, I don't expect to see much. But, oh, I didn't mean to minimize it. But there's only 414 rows, so we can just, be diligent on this one. We've got the alert 3s, which I'm sure is just suricata. Indeed it is. And if we keep looking through here, more suricata. We've got HTTP, which I'm sure is connecting to things like... Okay, that's just the Microsoft download server. We do have notices, which that's a Microsoft IP. That's also a Microsoft IP. We got some alert 2s, though. Yeah, etinfo external IP address lookup domain get.gojs.io. And then if we move this over, device retrieving external IP address detected. Obviously, it's allowed. And then same thing here, and same thing here. And that's really all I'm expecting to see. And then we've got SSL certificate for ipinfo.io, which that should be surprise to nobody. But we don't really see any active, like, alert 1s or anything that's showing, like, C2 info observed. So, fair enough. I think the only reason it has so many detections is because this looks like custom malware. It's not anything great. Obviously not made by, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like an APT or anything like that. It's just made by a guy in his mom's basement. But it is custom. It is unique. I feel like if he didn't add that list of junk from Luma, then this would probably have much fewer detections. But fair enough. Now, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to restart the computer. This has shown no instance of having any kind of persistence whatsoever. But I do want to restart just to make sure that we've covered all of our bases. And then we're going to end out the video. So now it's been a month since my last video, and I did make a post about this a couple days ago. The reason it's taken so long to get this video out is because I've just been so busy with work and school, and it's just been absolutely crazy. That is the wrong one. Let's open System Informer, scroll down to the bottom. We can do it in full screen now because, there's not really anything we need to look for. Nothing running under services. So yeah, this has no persistence. It's just a simple info stealer. It's custom, but it's definitely simple. The guy probably watched like a Udemy course and decided he was epic hacker man now. But the malware does what it needs to do, which is apparently just freaking dox you in every way possible. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought was interesting about this one. And let me know if there's anything I did not do in this video that you guys want to see in future ones. My name is Larry Bodenheimer. You guys have been amazing, and I will see you in the next one.